Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, happy Monday, guys. New week ahead of us. Not really sure there's any boxing going on. I don't think I'm gonna check the schedule. I can't think of any fights that are going on this week. I think, yeah, I don't even remember. But anyway, wanted to talk about Jason Sosa and Yuriorkis Gamboa because I didn't get a chance to actually make a video on that fight, and I really wanted to on the night. Um, another robbery in boxing. Another robbery in boxing. We'll start. Well, let me give you guys my take of the fight. So Sosa and Gamboa. Gamboa was coming in as a late replacement for Robinson Castellanos, the guy who stopped him earlier in the year. Came in on short notice. Didn't have a long camp, so he wasn't able to. It was noted that he had problems making the weight, and he barely made it for this fight. And when I saw Gamboa in there, his punches. I remember I was watching while I was watching the fight. I was saying his punches didn't have a lot of steam on them. His punches didn't have the most like he. I knew just looking at the way because he was landing some punches early on in the early rounds, and I remember saying that his lack of punching power is going to be his downfall in the fight. And Sosa, while obviously he wasn't as fast as a Gamboa, Sosa was able to time him. Sosa was able to jab his way on the inside and work his way on the inside. And it was a fight where there was some competitive rounds. There was definitely some swing rounds, but I thought Sosa was getting the majority of them swing rounds because of the fact that he was the sharper, more effective, cleaner puncher. And then when you add in the fact that Sosa got a knockdown and Gamboa had a point taken away from him for excessive holding, I mean, it's a no-brainer. The fight should have been, it should have been a clear win for Jason Sosa. He should be, getting back into the 130-pound title mix. But instead, we have Gamboa, a guy who did not deserve to win the fight, a guy that looked sluggish in the fight. He looked sloppy in the fight. And granted, he had a small training camp, so I can look at it in its proper context. But regardless of the fact, anybody who's been watching Gamboa, because he's fought like 4 times this year, anybody who's been watching Gamboa knows that he's not going to beat any of the top guys. He's just that guy, that special fighter, that special talent that he once was. Like there's still glimpses of that, but he's too old. He's too old. That's really what it is, man. Gamboa himself was actually a bit deluded. There was an article on Boxing Scene where he said that he thought the fight was a good decision and that he thinks that he won every single round except for the knockdown on the point deduction. So maybe he took a little bit too many punches to the head. But I mean, when you look at the 130-pound picture, you look at okay, you got Lomachenko, you got Salido, you got Tevin Farmer, you got Burchell, you got a lot of really good fighters in that weight class. And Gamboa, the way I see it, depending on who he gets, if he gets the wrong opponent, he's looking at one big payday and probably getting beat into retirement. That's the way I see it. Because for all the talent that he does have, he equally has just as much, a lack of a bad chin. The guy gets knocked down every fight. I mean, he got knocked down in this fight, even though it was like barely a knockdown. His glove touched his canvas, but it was still a knockdown. He got knocked down in this fight, got stopped by Robinson Castellanos. He had the one fight early in the year at the Turning Stone Casino. I think it was on the undercard of Lemieux Stevens. He fought the Argentinian Reyes, and he got knocked out in that fight. So he's really prone to getting knocked down. Anybody would like the thing with Gamboa is like usually guys like him who are very skilled. Power isn't going to be enough to beat guys like that. But with a guy like Gamboa who can get a little sloppy at times, and when he punches, sometimes he pulls his punches. He doesn't pull them straight back or he doesn't have his catch hand up when he's throwing a jab. Sometimes it's here. So there's always that millisecond to counter him. So if you're a guy with decent timing and respectable power, you're always gonna have a chance against Gamboa, and you don't even gotta be A or B level fighter. So I don't know, man. Like Gamboa, I'm not really excited about it. I actually wanted to. It's not even so much that I wanted to see Sosa win the fight. He deserved to win the fight, and for the sake of that weight class, I think it would have been better for him to get back in the title mix because obviously Sosa's not going to be a Lomachenko. That's true. But the other guys, the Salidos and the Burchelts and and Richard Comays and all the top guys in the weight class, I think he'd have a chance against all of them. Maybe even a Gervonta Davis fight, because we know that Gervonta Davis ducked the living hell out of him because he had a fight schedule, I think it was last year, and Floyd wouldn't let him fight Jason Sosa. So, him against any one of the champions except Lomachenko would be a competitive fight. As far as Gamboa, you don't really, he has the skills to compete, but he's just too sloppy, maybe a little too old, and it is what it is, man. I thought it was robbery. I thought it was robbery. I think I didn't really score the fight, but I think a 96-94 in favor of Jason Sosa would have been a fair scorecard. And that's just it, man. I just want to get my thoughts down on this fight. Props to Gamboa, I guess, for getting the decision. If he can actually do something with it now when he gets the big fight, it's up to him to actually prove that this wasn't all just in vain, that he's got a decision. So if you got, sometimes as a fighter, you need to be lucky. Sometimes he got lucky and with the decision. So, hopefully for his sake, for his career that for the most part has been, unfulfilled and marred by promotional issues and him not living up to his potential, hopefully Gamboa can get a big win in his career for the sake of his own career. So let me know what you guys think. Gamboa got a gift, in my opinion, early Christmas gift over Jason Sosa on the undercard of Kovalev-Shabransky. Did you guys have Sosa or Gamboa winning? And if you had Gamboa winning, let me know what your scorecard was. Let me know what you saw in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Follow True School Sports on Instagram at True School Sports. My name is Brandon Taylor. Like I always say, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.